Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are taking a look at Crimson Vow Constructed. So just the cards from Crimson Vow. I do expect at start of January we'll probably get constructed where it's both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, but for now it's just Crimson Vow. So all the cards from Crimson Vow pretty much straightforward. And what's the deck that we've chosen to run? Last time for Midnight Hunt, we went with Block Constructed Burn. I think, yeah, I still have it here. Actually, I'm curious how many cards did that... How many rares and mythics I ran here because... Oh, wow. Okay, so... Oh, wow, I went ham on the mythics and... Not so much on the rares, but I went ham on the mythics here, so... So that is a bit of a mess. We didn't go that much ham on mythics this time. Still only we like have only 2 mythics here, and I kind of spread it out. I could easily just add another pair of each of these. It would have been fine, but anyway, this is Block Constructed Life, so opposite of Burn last time. So this one's about testing the different Lifegain synergies. That's pretty much what is built around white black. So main key cards here would be Panic Bystander, gives us a way to gain quite a bit of life and becomes a decent beater on its own size. We have Restless Bloodseeker and Gluttonous Guest as a combo of sorts. We sack blood tokens to gain life. When we gain life, we make blood tokens. Hopefully we end up making more blood tokens than gaining life, but this is like the mini combo in its own sense. We have plenty of other ways of gaining life, so we should be able to flip this guy as a way to eventually start draining our opponent. We have a few copies of Traveling Minister to gain us life as well. Pretty good standard there. We have a single Voice of the Blessed. I could have easily gone more on this, but we were kind of black heavy, and I didn't want to go too far in double white when most of our deck runs a lot of double black. So what are our key synergies there? Aside from that one I mentioned, it's pretty much about life, but we also have a toughness team, because as you've noticed, most of our creatures have toughness higher than power. So we added a few copies of Catapult Fodder. Hopefully we can flip it up into Catapult Captain and dome our opponent that way. We have a single courier bat just to get some stuff in emergency. We have a few copies of Path of Peril in case super aggro is an issue. Something to keep in mind. I still haven't decided because I haven't exactly tested this deck quite yet, but I might end up adding more copies of Henrika and Sorin as needed. Otherwise, pretty much straightforward. We do get the benefit of actually running lands this time. So we'll go with this one. It's not as straightforward as the Block Constructed Burn last time. I actually preferred that one. But we should have a bit of a fine time with this one at least. So it does highlight that the different tools that are available or not so available. I probably would note that I might want more removal than just the 3 Path of Peril and Okay, so this one's slightly awkward. We're definitely keeping this. We do need the double black for Hero's Downfall. We don't need double white, so that's the one thing we always know. I'll probably just run the Panic Bystander. I could also run Restless Bloodseeker, but we don't really benefit from it, so it's a Panic Bystander. It deals more damage. If it dies, we gain a life. Opponent going for Pack Song Pup. So we have the Parasitic Grasp, but we're not in a hurry. So we'll play the Bloodseeker and then play the Evolving Wilds. And might as well swing. Opponent is probably going ham on Werewolves, I suppose. So it's a good thing we have the Hero's Downfall and Parasitic Grasp. We don't need to cleave if our opponent if it hasn't flipped yet. Boarded Window. So it shrinks everything. So that's gonna be an issue. Now let's get the swamp. Got another panic bystander, so that's an interesting one. Nice thing is that this is an instant, so as long as our opponent's creature's not that big, we can actually snipe it. So hold on, it's whenever another creature, it's another creature you control, so we don't gain life by sniping this. Deals 3 damage to target creature, you gain 3 life. Okay. Okay, let them gain that life. I'm thinking of just swinging with these two, because the Parasitic Grasp will still be enough to don't. That gains us quite a bit of life, and we do get to flip the Panic Bystander, which is a thing. Now, opponent still has another Hookland Mariner. Ooh, I should not have played that land. We had the Blood Token. I was thinking of flipping this as a way to get through. Also, another note is that this gains Death Touch until end of turn, so I can just choose to... I'm probably just gonna swing. Opponent not reading the card. I don't know why I did that. Technically, that normally would be a bad play. Opponent had the triple Hookhand Mariner. I kept saying Hookland as if it was what, Kirkland? Okay, so we have Markov Purifier at the beginning of your end step. Opponent this time is not gonna block, which gets us 3 damage true, and because we get to make a blood token and we get to draw a card. Hold on, what's the activate? Okay, it's transform only as a sorcery, so we don't get to sack it quite yet. We do get a Circle of Confinement, which misses on the hook hand, but if our opponent has smaller creatures like Packsong Pup, that one's a good hit. We get the flip, we get the Henrika Domnati, so... Let's see, what's our plan? Now, there is a chance our opponent could... Then, let's see. If our opponent has a way to snipe Henrika, we... Okay, each player sacks a creature. The opponent goes for the Wolf Strike. So, they will actually take it out. So, there is no point in me pumping this one. It does gain me another life, though not so relevant. We can actually sack the Minister this time. Swing, and then draw a card. Now we have discard fodder, and if our opponent can answer this, we can just start taking our opponent down in turns. Normally, I am a fan of monocolored, not the board. Okay, so I probably will not sack the blood token here. This one, yeah, seems like a miss. We can take out the insect token for what it's worth. What I'm probably gonna do is play the land, play another Bloodseeker. Draw a card, lose a life. I think I want to draw a card, lose a life first. Okay. No attacks. Dome our opponent. That generates more blood tokens. We don't draw a card this time, but we drew a card off Enrica. Probably there would be an argument for just flipping her. We deal more damage, we gain more life, and we wouldn't have to activate this ability. But now we seem to be in the plan where we want to just keep soaking our revelers in blood. Our opponent goes Investigator's Journal. Starts drawing cards. That's actually very nice. I would expect it more on like some opponent had the Wolf Strike. Yeah, so it was because of Wolf Strike. There doesn't seem to be any really good reason to just well, we would have gotten the life and we could have gotten on the cheap, I suppose. The opponent ends up flipping their Infestation Expert. So that said, now we're gonna actually save because we do need to start drawing cards. Yeah, we're gonna end up flipping it again. That's the bad news. We had Welcoming Vampire as a mid-range plan to draw into. Opponent goes Cemetery Prowler. It's a way to make stuff cheaper, I suppose. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But Circle of Confinement can get the Prowler, so I'm not going to discard that. I might just sack a land. Thankfully, no Prosperous Innkeeper to gain life that way. Parasitic Grasp, kind of fine. We don't need the. Actually, I want to cast at least the Welcoming Vampire, so we'll nuke the Prowler because that's our good target. I force our opponent to start chump blocking. They can even try to go for a Hull Dome, but we do have the Parasitic Grasp to... Yep, they're going for the Hull Dome. Let's choose the middle one. Does our opponent have a way to protect it? No. And more importantly, we still gained life, so we will actually get to draw a card. And I don't want to play the Welcoming Vampire, so... Technically, I do want to play Welcoming Vampire just to flip this again, but... if we can draw a card, we will draw a card. I kind of wish we had a better payoff for the blood tokens, though. Panic Bystander. Oh wait, we did flip it. Yeah, it was Grasp into... How did we flip? Oh yeah, we cast Circle of Confinement also, so we did flip it. I did need to cast the Welcoming Vampire. Wow, not good sign if I'm starting to forget stuff. So next turn, if our opponent does nothing, I can just play Welcoming Vampire, Panic Bystander. Opponent's really going ham on the wolves. Snarling Wolf. Yeah, let's sack this now. Another Welcoming Vampire. So... Interesting, interesting. I kind of want to do this, but I will be missing the mana to dome our opponent. I need to decide if it's more important to... Yeah, it's more important to dome our opponent here. We're skipping on card draw, so... But hopefully we can make up for that later. What happens if this runs out of... Oh, they sack the journal to draw a card instead. It's like the second coming of Maze Mind Tome, only without the gain 4 life buffer. It does draw you more cards over time. But the nice thing I can say is that this doesn't even... Oh, it's an insect. It doesn't even have reach. Like, our opponent is about to go ham on our life total, but I'm not too worried about it. Oh, we even have the catapult fodder. So if you control 3 or more creatures that each have... Yeah, that would be it. And that should... We already drew a card for it, so... We don't get to flip... We don't get to attack quite... I can actually attack with this one for 1. And you know what? We could just play out more stuff. Like now, if any of our creatures die, other than our opponent wants to prioritize taking out Voice of the Blessed, have our Brook Caretaker. Thankfully, it's day because the night side means we won't be able to target anything our opponent has. But at this point, we just need to hit another land and we're good. Actually, we might not even have to. Like, we know we're about to just dome our opponent by gaining life and chucking something at our opponent's head. Gains a life. And there you go, writings on the wall. And we gain an additional life to buff up Voice of the Blessed. There we go. There we go. That's a solid win. I'm actually happy with that one. Now let's see how far we can go in this one, because this is technically a league style event where you want to get as many wins as possible. You don't make your money back until 5 wins. Like even 4 wins gets you... until 4 wins. Even 3 wins just gets you like 50 gold short, but you still get your cards. I guess 2 wins is quite happy enough. That said, that matchup was very grindy, very mid-range. We did not draw a path of... I'm actually okay, so we have Traveling Minister, but we won't... Parasitic Grasp is an option, Catapult Fodder is an option, so definitely we're going to go Evolving Wilds into planes. Let's do that later. Technically, I could go for Swamp because there is no Field of Ruin here. Field of Ruin's in Midnight Hunt. Let's just go for the plains. Yeah, we should have gone for the Swamp. Okay, it's unlikely that we need to kill something turn 2, so I will just play the Traveling Minister right away. Yeah, I would have preferred to get the Swamp if I knew that was going to be the case. The bad news is our opponent will get... Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see if our opponent falls for it. Usually they don't. Yeah, they don't. Did not. Now, based on this, if our opponent just casts to flip this one, we will lose Henrique. Yeah, we will lose Henrica. Oh no, they just went for the Foreboding Statue. So, with that... Now, this one is unfortunately toughness greater than power. I'm gonna go with the each player sacrifices. We'll choose the Traveling Minister. Well, let's see which one our opponent gives up. Oh, they gave up the curtains. Okay, what's curtains for our opponent? Looks like our opponent is playing very heavy. If playing heavy mid range, if they're willing to give this up. Okay, they hit an Unhallowed Phalanx, so. We have the here. Oh, so it's just pure toughness. Now, knowing that it's pure toughness, I need to hold up Hero's Downfall. That said, do I need to draw the card? Yeah, let's just draw a card. Because I'm expecting an Ancient Lumber Knot. So we're going to wait for our opponent to attack. Technically, I should be sniping the Unhallowed Phalanx. But now we're drawing way too many lands for our own good. I'll probably just play this so I can actually start flipping things. There is an argument for holding back Henrica now, but I think we might be better served just some hitting with Henrica. Do we probably want to sacrifice another creature? Probably not. Also, Flying Death Touch are lifelinks, so that's pretty much only Henrica at this point. We do have Welcoming Vampire, so that is another way to... Yeah, if our opponent has another Ancient Lumber Knot, I'd be sad. I would really wish I've taken out the Unhallowed Phalanx. Actually, yeah, it would have been smarter to take out the Phalanx in that sense. I think our opponent also has a way to... Yeah, Edgar's Reanimation would buy this back. But let's say we take 13 plus. We can kind of survive it, actually. Like, we can nuke the Foreboding Statue. And this is equal to toughness. Oh, opponent's just retrieving it. Do they have the mana for it? Oh, they do. Oh, I should have sniped it. Oh wait, we could technically kill our opponent with this. Yeah, yeah, I should have sniped it. Our opponent could still float the mana though, but so It would have put more pressure on our opponent, I would say. We just really have to aim for the head. Exile target zombie. Is this another target? Sacrifice another target creature. Okay. I'll just cleave the foreboding statue. Nice. That was a nice aim for the head, I would say. Now we definitely want to save up the mana here, so we'll just swing with Henrika. Yeah, because as much as I want to sack for the token, like I do want the option to just sack the guest, dome our opponent for 4, force our opponent to have an answer. This not even sorcery speed, so that's good news too. And there we go, that's it. Henrika goes all the way. I was actually considering doing a toughness build, but then I realized it's so reliant on Lumber Knot Phalanx. Now there are other cards that get around it that just as fine, like the Catapult Fodder, but the problem is it's so tied to that Lumber Knot. Our opponent did the right thing in having ways to buy Lumber Knot back. I was expecting Edgar's Awakening. Our opponent did have Retrieve instead. That one is kind of fine though. Our opponent lost a lot of tempo for having to buy it back. I think I was honestly expecting them to go for the curtain. We actually could also have our own curtains as well. The reason I did not was because it's rare. I did not want to buy any more rare wild cards for it. So we need to get white eventually, but I can actually just get white next. We're more likely to draw black, so fine, let's get the white. And I'm probably not gonna play Parasitic. Unbelievable, but I need to have the double black, so who would have thunk? Hopefully we don't get too punished for that. Opponent goes blue-black. Counter spells are Skull Scab. Does our opponent go for the exploit? Because if our opponent doesn't go for the exploit, what I could do is I can just play the Welcoming Vampire first. Actually, yeah. I'm actually gonna just go for the... Because actually, this is also a play. Let's just go for the Welcoming Vampire now. It also happens to dodge Path of Peril if I cast it on the cheap, whereas zombies for the most part don't. Our opponent probably just takes it out. That's fine. So definitely don't want to do I could do Henrika Domnati just to draw a card. Our opponent just might have another Hero's Downfall, but I'm expecting our opponent to... Okay, we'll just run the Minister first. Let's see. We'll take the hit. I'm surprised. Oh, our opponent could have overcharged Amalgam, but he goes for the Necro Duality, so a bit poor for us. We are drawing our Path of Perils though, so I'm starting to like adding a second Rika to this list. And now we have the mana to go full Wrath if we need to. Our opponent goes Headless Rider. Okay, it does dodge Path of Peril. I might just go for the flip here. each player sacrifices a creature is also a thing, I suppose. So we're now kind of trying to race here. If our opponent does finish Enrica, then we can safely Path of Peril. Cemetery Desecrator. I guess that's a good target. What's our X? 2 and 3. So that will kill Henrika. Okay, that's actually fine. We now have a good excuse to wipe the board. Take 6 for now. We did draw Sorin the Mirthless. But now we're gonna have to do it again. Oh, when it dies, it also does the exile too. Okay. So that's actually quite painful if we were relying on our graveyard. Thankfully, we weren't. But we're about to take a cool 10 here. Let's see what our opponent's follow-up is. No follow-up, so... Now my concern is our opponent could have a counter spell, so that would be annoying, but we kind of have to do this. And okay, no counter spell, and we need to start gaining some life back. Yeah, opponent had the Hero's Downfall. That was predictable. There goes our Mythics. Yeah, I kind of want to have a second Henrika at this point. Opponent has their own Path of Peril, so it looks like. Thankfully, I did not play the Welcoming Vampire quite yet. I probably don't want to play that out yet. In case I manage to make blood tokens, so it's kind of sketchy at this point. Opponent goes Fellstinger. Makes a token. Does our opponent decide to draw more cards? They're gonna draw some more cards. Are they gonna draw even more cards? No, they're not. They're passing. I actually do... Ooh, they ran the full gamut with the Bleed Dry too, so it's just... Unfortunately, getting stuck on lands is an issue for us here. We probably will have to concede at some point. Yeah, Cemetery Desecrator. Now, if you can invest on the Mythics for this, sure, but I feel like I'm still the winner here because I did not invest on Mythics that are not going to be useful outside of well, it might still be useful in the future. But also, or it's also possible our opponent opened them, so that's actually, and in which case this was the best time for our opponent to use them. Yeah, I'm already looking at the at how slow it is. Circle of Confinement not so great. I think between Parasitic Grasp and Hero's Downfall, you'd want more of those. It will also lessen our reliance on white, which is a good thing. So we definitely will keep this. Sanctum on 1, Bloodseeker 2. Actually, Panic Bystander is also an option. Opponent. Everyone loving the Mono Black. I guess we do the Panic Bystander first. If our opponent kills it, we still get the life out of it, so I'm actually cool with it. Then we get to decide next turn what to do. Yeah, opponent goes Parasitic Grasp. They gain life, we gain life. The timing is good in the sense that no one really benefited from that. We're just gonna test it. Opponent did not have the removal at that time. Then again, if our opponent drops some Investigator's Journal, that feels very sad. Anyway, we're definitely dropping. They'll get Plains this time. So, bit of an anti-timing here. I do want to play the Welcoming Vampire though. It draws us more cards over time. Opponent is in black-blue. Based on what they've demonstrated, this Sorin the Mirthless makes a token. So, knowing that, we will have to go for the full value for the full price Parasitic Grasp. But we also get to take out Sorin, so good job us. And we get a free blood token, which becomes relevant much later. Opponent digging really hard. Technically, they can draw 2 cards if they just okay, they drew the land. So we drew a land as well. Now, technically, yeah, we're just gonna crack these now. And we do gain some life in the process. So if our opponent has no way of interacting with the Restless Bloodsucker, we will get some blood tokens back, a blood token back. I should have played this one first, but I was concerned that there'd be a response. So, also likewise concerned that our opponent might have a full set of responses there. So if basically along the lines of, if I don't have to run it out, don't run it out. And if I have to, I can sack the token to discard the swamp. Ideally, I do want the 6 mana though, like, well, 5 mana for Voice and hold up Parasitic Grasp is fine. Opponent has their own Parasitic Grasp on our Vampire, which is fine. We're not gonna draw. Well, technically we could still draw cards, but it's gonna be full price if we do that. So we're not gonna sack the blood token. But this does allow us to sack, pitch a land, hold, and still hold a Parasitic Grasp. I can also play the Purifier, but we don't benefit off it, so we're gonna just swing. So whenever you gain life, so it has Flying and Vigilance if I can get 3 more counters on it. It's gonna be a while before it gets indestructible, so I'm not counting on it to happen. Opponent goes Inspired Idea. They don't care about the... Oh wait, they might care about their hand size, but they've been it's as if they're missing a color. Though it doesn't feel like it. It feels so weird. I have no idea. Oh yeah, they did have to discard. Okay, we drew our Path of Peril, so we'll play the Markov Purifier. Opponent clearly has a response, they just haven't gone for it yet. I am going slightly shields down here, but then again, Parasitic... I suspect our opponent is playing Toxrill. Opponent has their own Parasitic Grasp. Nice timing. We did hit that. But then we get to draw a card. Yeah, no, there's our... So as long as we get our card draw chain, we are somewhat fine. Toxrill's an issue. which means I don't want to play any more cards into the scenario. I could just Path of Peril, get it over with. What I can also do is yeah, because I'm expecting the board to get wiped in a moment. Sorin the Mirthless. My concern also is that our opponent might have the counter spells needed to counter the Path of Peril. Yeah, counter spell is going to be the big concern here. Anyway, we do have to cleave. Do they have the counter spell? It's tense because our opponent also hasn't activated the build. They had the counter spell. So that, yeah. So blue-black control. It does highlight that one change to the deck that we probably will do. So we're probably gonna lose this one, but you know what? I'm kind of fine. I'm kind of fine with losing at this point. But I will demonstrate. But I will show you guys the changes you need to make later on. We would need to hit another. Like I could. Yeah, seriously. Just so many people that are so invested in a throwaway event. Okay, we're probably not gonna hit it though. That just buys us a little bit more time, but not so much. I can also just play a Catapult Fodder just to give us a blocker. Yeah, let's do that. It'll take a while for our opponent to get down to it. Opponent finally gonna hit their second island, so yeah, they're gonna have access to even more counters. So basically, it's about sticking Toxrill. So knowing that, we have to, yeah, it's primarily Hero's Downfall at this point because I was concerned that we would have a lot of early aggro. That's why I had the early confinements, but it looks like not the case. Now there is an alternate plan here, but we kind of need a lot more mana for it to work. Also, this one's gonna get shrunk in no time. I will need to flip it immediately. Let's first give ourselves the 3 creatures with different power and toughness. That's something to flip with Catapult Fodder. If our opponent sees what's up, they will snipe the Catapult Fodder immediately. That said, we're not dealing a lot of damage here. This one's going to go down to an X1. Do they have the... If they have the Syncopate, it's... No, they had the Hero's Downfall for that. Yeah, that... Yeah, they... Yeah, it's over. Can kind of gain 1 life, but... Yeah, it's about sticking with Toxrill is a good one. But for those of you who don't have the budget and who don't have the willingness to dump a ton of mythics, this is actually I actually find the synergy quite reasonable. That said, do I want to invest again in another shot at this? Probably not. I kind of know what changes I have to make. But even then, if that's the event I'm gonna run into, I kind of lose interest in that. So anyway, just to highlight the change, I will reflect the changes on the deck list. There isn't so much need for early removal, so we can cut the circle of confinements. Definitely want to add 2 more heroes downfalls. Actually, I said 2 more. Path of Peril is fine. You have to decide if you want another Henrika or another Sorin. I kind of like Henrika, but there is an argument for another Sorin. Voice of the Blessed was fine. I guess we goofed up on the timing there. On the gain life timing there. If we had another way to gain life other than just sacking the token, we probably would have had a shot at it. So we kind of goofed up on that one. Maybe make some adjustments to add more Traveling Ministers. The Panic Bystander is a bit of the weird one. I guess I would probably flip the script like this. The Courier Bat, yeah, if I'm keeping the Courier Bat, I would probably double the Henrika. This would be the deck build I would use. And yeah, we're not. There we go. That's gonna be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. Let's crack a few packs. Let's crack the 1 pack to soothe my bruised ego. Hey, I finally complete the playset. Didn't have to, but I'll take it. Anyway, if you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care.